Hey everyone, today I'm joined by our CEO, Stephanie So, to talk about one of the most critical and exciting topics in technology right now, which is AI, security, and the future of intelligent agents. With the rise of agentic AI, systems that can act autonomously and make decisions, it's more important than ever to understand both the potential and the risks. So I assume we just dive right in.
Okay, that sounds good.
I prepared some questions, Stephanie. The first one is, so let's start with the basics, right? Because a lot of listeners don't really understand maybe what AI is, what autonomous agentic AI is, all this stuff. So let's start with the basics. How would you define agentic AI, and what makes it different from traditional AI systems?
Oh my goodness, I'll try. Agentic AI seems to be, and I'm not an AI expert, seems to be a program that is trying to abide by certain rules in order to get a task done. And they have different kinds that some are able to evolve as they go along with their task. Some are confined a lot. And I think there's a lot of confusion for me too about which ones are going to be deployed where. And that's sort of where our area of blockchain comes in. So there's AI experts, and then there's us. And I think what blockchain really does is it tries to clarify what happens by verifying things on a ledger, making sure they're valid, making sure we understand what happened. And that's my take on how they fit together.
Yeah, okay. And what excites you the most about the potential of it, and what would concern you the most as well?
Okay, what excites me the most is I would really like a lot of my work that takes a lot of time to get done. Like my email boxes are a real problem, and I hear they're working on things like that. And of course, LLMs are very useful. But then you hear about agentic AIs that will make decisions for you, like they'll go out and they'll find different things on the marketplace, and they'll start feeding you what you want, anticipating what you want for dinner or something like this.
Yeah.
And that is very concerning to me, because I don't really want my AI to know too much about me or start telling me what to do. I just don't like people to tell me what to do, Robbie.
Yeah, because if it knows everything about you, there's a lot of data. Who owns this data? What's the security behind everything as well? I read something the other day about the president of Signal. It's a platform like Telegram.
Very concerned about privacy, right?
Yeah, very concerned about privacy and security. And the president is Meredith Whittaker. But she has raised alarms about agentic AI needing broad system access, like, for example, with dietary scheduling and all these kind of things, So do you think that the industry is taking these risks seriously, actually?
No, I don't think they know how to do this quite yet. And so I've been looking into this, right? So it's very different. We had this on One Geek Spaces. It's very different from the search algorithms knowing that you looked up, I have problems with my digestion. What should I do? The search algorithms do know that. They can trace it back to your IP, but now your IP address. But now you're talking about allowing an AI to sort of know what you're eating every moment, which some dietary apps might do. So they know that about you already. But the AI agent will start making conclusions and Yeah, really getting intimate, really getting personal, and learning from that, and who knows where they will share that afterwards. So I think there's a lot to be worried about
Yeah.
personally. Yeah.
Do you think the industry is taking these risks seriously enough? So
No,
how can we as a company like Geeq, for example, build a system or systems that function effectively but still respect user privacy and data boundaries?
that's a $100 trillion question, right,
Yeah.
Ravi?
Yeah.
So let me tell you the horror story, the fear that I have about agentic AI. And just last week, there were swarms released, right? So agents could replicate themselves. So imagine that you have, that I'm worried in my small imagination about millions running around, and now they're replicating themselves. We're going to get to very large numbers very quickly. And the thing I keep playing over in my head is, how are they going to signal value? Because if they don't signal value, I think we're going to get crypto all over again, right?
Yeah.
Where you get meme coins and other coins and all kinds of projects, and no one can tell what's going on. And that to me would be a disaster. It'd be a lot of wasted resources. So I think one of the things that has to happen is we have to have some way to define markets so that these agentic AIs are able to say, I'm not a meme coin. I'm doing this project and I have these customers. And that's where I think Geeq is very valuable as infrastructure, because we can set up different marketplaces instead of one long blockchain, which would just be crazy to put the
Yeah.
whole, you'd never be able to search for anything. We have search, and we have ways to see what an AI agent does on one chain or one app, and think about it on another. That's where I think will really make a difference.
Yeah. So I guess it's safe to say that you see encryption and decentralization playing a role in that solution.
Absolutely. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, if we didn't have encryption, if and if we weren't able to selectively encrypt some of the data that we're going to be sharing, I know people are going to ignore encryption. A lot of people do. They don't think about privacy, but that would be a very dangerous world if you think about AI eventually making decisions for us. So absolutely, we have to think about that.
So another thing which we're seeing as well, and we've been touching during the spaces as well, during the AI topics, is, do you believe in having human oversight at all times? Or do you see a future where AI can be fully trusted to act independently? And I think you touched it already a bit in the beginning, but I think, what's your idea of having human oversight at all the time?
I want it for now. I think at Geeq we just don't trust, right? You have to prove that you're doing something. If you're anonymous, if you don't know what's going on, we don't know what's going on with AI. So unless they can prove to me that they're following rules, that they're trained to follow rules, I absolutely do want human oversight. So in apps, it's called having a human in the loop, right?
Yeah.
So like in medicine, when people talk about just letting AI go, it doesn't make any sense to me yet.
Yeah.
But who am I to disagree with Bill Gates? Don't.
I think you might be surprised, actually.
Maybe someday, but no, we need humans in the loop, especially if there are meaningful outcomes, right?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, and finally, last question: how important is ongoing testing and monitoring in these systems? I mean, It's very important, right? But what does a good AI security lifecycle look like to you?
Wow, what a question.
Yeah, right.
I think it means the AI agent has to check in. It has to be programmed to check in with the blockchain regularly, because the AI agent can modify its history. It can selectively remember and forget and report if you don't get it fast enough, and they're going to be fast. So as it learns, it's going to discard some things, right? If we don't know what it's doing and it's not captured on chain, it's captured in a spreadsheet, who's to say that AI is not going to go back and change the spreadsheet? Yeah, right. So the security life cycle has to be pretty tight, I think, at the beginning, and it's going to take blockchain, and it's going to take ours, because others can be manipulated. So I don't want to be in a blockchain world where consensus is determined by AI. I just don't want to be told this is it and you can't do anything about it. There's my answer.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for the answer.
Thank you for asking.
Thanks for sharing also those insights. Because we've been talking about AI for a while actually already. I've been learning a lot about AI myself actually, which is a great thing, obviously. And I think a lot of people forget how complex this all is behind the scenes, right? Because everyone's talking about AI, but and so many blockchain projects are telling the story that they're so ready for AI and AI implementation. It's such a complex thing, right? And you need to be fully decentralized as well in order to do so, because you need to be able to get that demand out there as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think the size of the markets are going to be astounding. When you talk about AI the way a lot of people talk about it, with the human in the loop, they're going to be human and agent markets, but they're also going to be agent to agent markets. And there, I think, we're going to need the multi-chain, we're going to need the scaling, and we're going to need to talk to each other more, because there's no way one team is going to know everything to manage to get their heads around this. So
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
We agree.
We agree.
Okay, excellent. Have a great evening, Robbie.
Yeah, thanks. You too, Stephanie.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.